So as you'll probably know, deadline day is a period that happens twice a year where teams basically go in for last ditch attempts to get players. So today we're going to be looking at this year's summer transfer deadline day, I suppose you could call it, and we're going to be looking at the deals that did go through. Some of these were confirmed the day before but didn't actually happen until deadline day, but we're going to be going for the loaned players first, then we're going to be going for the undisclosed players after that, and then finally the players that have been confirmed as a price tag. And there are some interesting ones in here that I want to talk to you guys about. So yeah, let's get into the loaned players now. Right guys, so the first player is going to be Matt Jarvis. He has been shipped out on loan to Norwich, who are in the same league as his actual club, West Ham, which is kind of weird because you would expect them to kind of not loan it out to a rival, if you know what I'm saying. They obviously aren't arch rivals, but they're still in the same league, and I would not be up for that if I was West Ham. But it will be a good move for Matthew Jarvis, in my opinion, as he doesn't get a lot of game time, I believe, at West Ham, so it will be a fresh start for him. Hopefully he can do well at Norwich. I'd like to see him do well, as I do like him in FIFA, and hopefully he can possibly get a deal there and start playing there as week in, week out football, I guess you could say. But he is a great player and a really, really good young English star. Right guys, so the next player is going to be Yedlin. He has actually went to Sunderland on a loan from Spurs. As you know, he was in the MLS last season, had a good career there, I believe. So it was a bit weird seeing him come back to Spurs, as he's not going to get game time over Walker. So it's good to see him getting loaned out, so he can actually have some game time in the BPL and time to develop for Spurs, and he could be a real star in the future. He does look like a really, really good player of what I've seen of him, which isn't a lot to be fair, but he does look like a quality player that could become one of the best right backs in the league in the future. He just needs that time to mature, and I think Sunderland could be the place for him to do it. And yeah, hopefully he becomes a better player in years to come. Right guys, so next we have Nathan Dyer. He has actually went out on loan from Swansea to Leicester City, and you might have seen a few years ago he was actually doing really well at Swansea City, and I thought his career would kind of boost from there, just get better, but he seems to have kind of drifted off, and I don't think he started every game for them last season that he could have, and that he was available for, so that wasn't too good. I think he hasn't been performing as well in the last 2 seasons, but before that he was a really world class act, and hopefully he can get his game together back at Leicester, because he is a really good player on his day, and I'd like to see him get back to that form, as he did help Swansea do pretty well that season. So hopefully he can do well at Leicester and then go back to Swansea and have a very, very good career. Oh no, a Barbo has joined the Premier League. The fee is undisclosed, but he has joined Watford, and what I thought was a loan at first from Roma. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, as they just bought him in January, I believe it was, so that would be weird if they shipped him off after like 5, 6, 7 months, if that. But if he actually is joining the Premier League for an actual fee and is going to stay here, the sweatiness of the Premier League is going to get too bad, man. FIFA 16 is going to be so messed up with a Barbo, especially if he's a striker, but I think this is a good signing for Watford. I've not actually watched a lot of him in real life, but he does look like he could have potential. He wasn't that good in the World Cup. That's the only time I have watched him, and I didn't watch him that much in there anyway, but hopefully he plays well for Watford, as you would like to see a Barbo play well in real life, not just FIFA. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch him there. Right guys, so next we do have Aaron Lennon, and he has joined Everton. He wasn't loaned at them last season, and he had a pretty good season, I believe, over there. So he has joined them from Spurs in an undisclosed fee, so far. But I think it will probably be in the regions of about £5 to £10 million. And as you know, he was at Spurs for a while. He used to be a really, really good player back in the day, like 3-4 years ago, something like that. But since Lamela and players like that have came in, he just hasn't had the opportunity to shine as much as they wanted to use new players that they're bringing into the club that they've bought for quite a lot of money. They don't just want to keep them on the bench. They're going to be using them over Lennon, and that was Lennon's chance to kind of maybe prove his place in the squad. He didn't actually do so, and he wasn't actually that good for the last few years, but he did join Everton and had an okay season, and that's probably why they have went out and bought him. I think he can get his career back on track at Everton, but we'll just have to see how things go for him. I wish him all the best, and hopefully he can have a good career over there. Right guys, the next player we're going to be looking at is Glenn Murray. He has moved from Crystal Palace to Bournemouth for a fee of £4 million. I don't know if this is a bargain or not, as he's the sort of player that can perform really well some days, and then other days he can just be shocking. So we'll have to see how he does at Bournemouth with Callum Wilson up front. I didn't feel like they needed a striker, Bournemouth, but they went out and got Glenn Murray just in case maybe Callum Wilson gets injured or something like that. He is obviously an improvement to the squad, and I'll probably play him and Callum Wilson up front together. Pace and a bit of kind of just kind of holding up play and stuff like that could work together well together for them. So we'll just have to see about that. So yeah, this was a bit of a strange move at first, but it is kind of understandable when you think about it. Right guys, so next we do have Virgil van Dijk, who's moved to Southampton from Celtic for 11.5 million. As some of you may know, Manchester City is my second favourite team, but my first favourite team, and always my first favourite team, will of course be Celtic. I have got a season ticket there, and I seen Virgil van Dijk in like every home game last season, and the season before, and the season before. He is incredible. He is such a good player, and I think he will fit into the BPL so nicely. He can be possibly one of the best centre-backs there. He was the best player in our league by miles for the last year or two. He is so good. He's so physically good for a centre-back. He can just outstrength anyone. He is such a good player, and I cannot wait to see if he can do the same at Southampton. He could be a flop for all I know, but so far of what I've seen of him at Celtic, which is a lot because I've got a season ticket obviously, but yeah, he is going to be hopefully a really good player there, and hopefully worth the 11.5 million that Southampton did in fact pay for him. Right guys, so next up we have Funes Mori, I believe his name is. He has moved from River Plate, to Everton for £9.5 million. I cannot say what I think of him. I've never watched him play, but by what I've heard of him and the price tag, he must be a pretty good centre-back, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the league. Also, his FIFA 15 card was pretty good, with a few good stats in defending, physical and pace. So he does look like a kind of pacey guy at the back, and quite strong and quite good at defending as well. So it'll be good to see how he plays for Everton in the future. Right, so next we have Djibodje, or however you say his name. I honestly have no idea. He is signed for Chelsea for £4 million, and the story behind this is Chelsea went for Marquinhos, Garay and Stones, all for around about £40 million. I think they were all for £40 million. Got none of them, so instead they go to buy this guy for £4 million, and a bit of a really kind of strange deal. It came out of nowhere. Nantes was the club that he did in fact sign for, and I've not heard a lot about him. Obviously, I think I've used him in FIFA before and that, as he does have quite a nice card, but I don't know if he'll fit into Chelsea that well. He is a kind of weird one for Chelsea to sign. I don't feel like they needed a centre-back that was not that good. I felt like they needed a world-class centre-back rather than one that hasn't really been established, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we'll have to see. We can't really judge him yet, but I don't think it was the best signing Chelsea could have made in the last day of the transfer window. Right guys, to finish off the episode, there is nobody else we could finish with but Martial. He has joined Manchester United from Monaco for £36 million. Everyone's saying Raheem Sterling was a rip-off at £44 million. Everyone's saying De Bruyne was a rip-off at £54.5 million. Compared to Martial, they are cheap. Compared to Martial, they has good prices for them. He is not established. He came from Monaco. Nobody's really heard of him. Obviously, I've heard of him from like FIFA and career mode and stuff like that, and possibly a bit from Ultimate Team, but he hasn't even really played for the French squad yet or anything like that. 36 million is too much. I think Man United fans will agree with me on this. It was kind of funny to see how desperate Man United were to get a striker. They had to spend 36 million on a 19-year-old that hasn't even been established yet. But yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. But anyway, that's just going to be the end of the video, guys. That's the last transfer that I'm going to go through on transfer deadline day. Obviously, I didn't go for all of them because there was like tens and tens. There was like 50, 60 of them, so that would be too long a video. If you have enjoyed the video though, smash the like button. 15 likes would be insane on the video. Subscribe as well if you're new. I spent loads of times on this, so 15 likes at least would be absolutely crazy from you guys. Thank you so much for 116 subscribers. That is what I'm at when I'm recording this. And apart from that, guys, I will see you guys next time.